Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Morveo. This is episode 5, and we're leaving today in about 20 minutes or so. We're going to have breakfast, pack the bikes up, and head off. Just quick scan around the room so you know what it was like last night. Okay, so this is our view from the window, really high up. So lovely. We've kept this closed because there was an infestation of earwigs last night, which is their breeding season apparently, so we were covered in them. There's a room, just very small, nothing too spectacular, but the hotel is quite stunning. Meal in the restaurant last night, so we didn't have to travel far. Right, today we are only doing about 133 miles and we're going to Evora. I'll show you the map. Okay, so we are currently here in Morveo and we're going to do a sort of a twisty route via Elvas, which is here, which is on the border with Spain and opposite Barrio, and it was a sort of garrison town. Goes back a long time. Was prolific during the Napoleonic Wars, and then we're going to head all the way down and stop at Evora, which is here. Now, things that we'll see in Elvas, because it is a bit of a place. I'm just having a look at the spreadsheet, and there's a British cemetery there, star-shaped citadel, a dam, cafe stop, chapel of bones, Evora, Roman temple, cathedral, and an aqueduct. So all of there. So between there and there, lots of history. Okay, so we're going to pack the bikes up, head down for breakfast, have a bit of scran, and then we're away on the road. So I'll speak to you soon. So we just left the hotel, no issues, and then we're now on the road to Evora. 28 degrees, nice. I know you can hear me better with the visor down, but I just need some air into that visor. It is quite warm. Great view though in the morning, looking across there. Not a cloud in the sky. Should never moan about the heat. Well, we're always going to moan about the heat, the British, aren't we? You know, we don't like it when it's cold, we don't like it when it's too hot. We are the Goldilocks nation. So, yeah, not a long day on the bike today, but more of a sort of sightseeing day. We stops to see a little bit of history from this side of Portugal. And we're running very close to the Spanish border, and as I mentioned in the introduction this morning, Elvas is very near Barrio, which is the Spanish town directly over the border. And when Wellington was fighting Napoleon, it was that sort of the Peninsular War, as it's known, was all around that sort of area where we came across from the Portuguese, because they were our allies, and at the time Spanish was kind of sitting on the fence. Sometimes they were friends with the French and sometimes they weren't, but the French were in Spain anyway, and so we were fighting for that territory. And there was that famous battle at Barrio, which a lot of regiments have as their battle honour. So I'm sure Elvas was probably in our possession as well as the French at some point. So that'll be good to see. Have a look at that. through this particular part. Looking at the sat nav, there's just a dead straight road for about 2 miles. Very nice. Anne's just had something running between her wheels, some stoat or a rat or a cat, one or the other. Didn't see much of it. Brown and quick. Tried to play with a tiger and won. The landscape changes all the time, doesn't it? It's sort of pine forests now. Yeah, it smells like disinfectant. Pine, not quite. I think they're eucalyptus on the right, actually. And that's rare for me because I've got a really bad sense of smell. I've just noticed there's a big castle up there on the right hand side. As you can see from the board, we're not far from the Spanish border as well. That one. Yeah, mine taking a little bit longer to catch up my sat nav. Yeah, that was quite impressive up there, didn't it? Probably an old Moorish castle. This sort of area was definitely taken back in the 11th century. It was all Moorish owned. And I think the first king of Portugal managed to take it off the Moors. Probably Alfonso the First. How about that? That's a good one. I think it's Alfonso the First. Straight ahead at this roundabout. Yeah, thanks for the indication, old bean. I've got 9.5 miles dead straight. Okay. So Anne's telling me we've got about 3.5 miles to another dam. But it has got a cafe. And I could, what do you think? Trouble is, it's our Ascension Day today, which I'm not sure, but it could be a bank holiday in Portugal. It's a Catholic festival, so it may well be. So we shall see. If the cafe's open, we'll definitely, yeah, we'll have to have a coffee and a, I don't know, Portuguese custard tart. Pastel nata, yeah, that's it. over the dam. We've just stopped. You can see from the footage what it looks like from above. Okay, apparently I've lost something, so I'm just going to check. Yeah, so unfortunately my sunglasses were on the back of the pannier, which then blew off as I set off, and then the car went over them. Just as well I was looking for a new pair, wasn't it? Oh well. So we're sunglass shopping on in Elvora. Okay. It's not the end of the world, is it? No one was injured. No one died. Anyway, back to the job in hand. There you go. I don't know who. Those dams always are. Just trying to get from A to B. Lovely. Right, onwards and upwards. What's the next stop? Okay, well, we're just coming into Elvas now, so we're about 6 miles away. We're stopping at the Citadel Fort, so we'll have a look at that one. Right, we've just turned off the main on the assumption that we were going to the fort, because all forts, like castles, are stuck on top of a hill somewhere. And then we looked up, we could just see some parapets at the top, so but it wasn't marked, and by the looks of the road it's a dead end. One way in, one way out. Good viewpoint, huh? Yeah, we'll have a good look when we get to the top. Right, this is going to be good fun. Parking is straight up, so let's get a little bit further up, I think. Get flat, get less walky. That's alright. That's good. Here on the left is perfect. Okay, we're in the fort now. This is the Dragon Gate, apparently. Big spikes used to come out through there and then drop down as I suppose as a type of portcullis thing that would then drop there. According to this, defended by its own guard force and by the mechanism that activated thick iron bars that came down through the hole in the fort. Quite nice to go out in the sun for a bit. Okay, there we go. That's where we are now. It says here that it was built around about 1763. Well, I would imagine construction of these sort of things took a period of time. It's in a good position. And it was built by the Portuguese to stop the Spanish in the Battle of the Lines. I would imagine at some point though we took it over, because that would be ideal for us, wouldn't it? Stop the French. Also there's a gun enclosure or gun port, and it's built like a shape of a star, so it's one of those where if you fired at it, it would ricochet off You don't get damage to the walls if it's bouncing off. They look very thick though. And there's a lot of cannon, I would imagine. It's certainly a lot cooler inside, so, but there's it's clearly been used up until about the 1960s because there's lots of modern wall paintings. That is definitely a modern day image. And what my Portuguese isn't that good, but we can translate later. Yeah, it's quite spectacular. There's nothing in here, but if you look at the architecture, it's amazing. And it's got to be 20 degrees cool. Well, it feels like it. Probably a balmy 19 degrees in here. Well, that's going to be a central bastion or something. That will be the last place that everyone gets to. If ever the enemy gets through to this bit. There you go. So it's definitely used 1950 or 1959. And the other one showed 1960. So clearly was a barracks for the Portuguese army. Late 50s and 60s. That's it. Yeah, we've had a little walk around. Probably a bit too warm to walk around in bike gear. But yeah, quite interesting. Clearly it's been used by the Portuguese army in the 50s and 60s. I imagine being posted here wouldn't have been great. Probably freezing in the winter, boiling in the summer, and yeah, not many luxuries. But it would have done the job. But of course, in the 60s in Portugal, it's not as if they were going to be invaded by anyone. But of course, they had a few problems in Africa, so I would imagine their army was quite big then, and so they had to use all the facilities they had rather than building new stuff. So it was probably conscripts that came here. So we're going to head back to the bikes, have a look at the aqueduct, and a few other things as well.